Good morning, everybody. So today I wanted to do a video about the first year of fatherhood. So as you know, Tola made a great video about her first year of motherhood, where she speaks about her experiences, things that she learned, things that she wished she knew, and I thought it was just a really insightful video into what it's like to be a mum for the first year. So when she put that up and I shared it, one of my friends asked me, "Why don't you put up what your experience has been like for the first year of fatherhood for the Mandem?" I was like, that could be interesting. I didn't want to steal Tola's thunder, but I thought at the same time maybe it'd be a good idea to give a guy's perspective of what it's like being a dad for the first year. So before I get into that, first of all, to acknowledge my Father in heaven, who obviously has kept me to this point, who's given me the privilege of being a dad, and who I draw strength and guidance from. Got to give thanks to my father on earth, my dad, who was a great dad to me, who's taught me so many life lessons, and whose lessons I use now in being a dad. And just acknowledge all the dads out there who have been doing this a lot longer than me, who know a lot more than me, and just thank them for the work they do in raising kids. So on to the points. I have 10 things about fatherhood so far, but I think I snuck in 11. So the first one I have is that you love, value, and you treasure your wife so much through the process, from even from before birth, from the whole pregnancy of carrying the baby, and just everything that goes with it. Obviously, everything is hard. Obviously, carrying another life in you, your feet get swollen, so all of that is very, very difficult. But I think, especially for me, the birth was very, very. I say the birth was hard for me. It was hard for her because we had to have an emergency C-section, but for me, it was very, very difficult because I just think things deteriorated really quickly to the extent that we had to have an emergency C-section, and so I was there trying to support her, but it was very, very difficult for me. And even there was one point where she started to fall asleep, whatever. I was like, "Tola, don't you dare sleep. Just wake up." Because I was thinking I was like, you know what, God's in control, but this is a pretty scary, scary time. So when she did all that and Max came out, the relief, I was just thanking God so much. But I just think, you know what, she is a superwoman. Like, but to do all of this is so crazy. So I think you value her for that, and then even through the process, the challenge that was breastfeeding is something else. Because when we went through the maternity classes and all that, they were like, "Oh, you have to breastfeed your baby. It's so natural. It's easy. Oh, it's easy. People, that's the best thing." And so in my mind, I was like, "Yeah, breastfeed the baby," but a lot of people don't talk about that. Breastfeeding is actually very, very difficult. So you've got problems getting the milk. You've got the baby latch on, and it's very, very difficult. So in the end, we had to move towards formula milk quite soon. It was just like, "Oh, why couldn't she do it?" And then as she spoke about it, quite a few people have had this difficult experience, and so I felt bad because I was saying that, "Oh, but the woman said we should be breastfeeding. Why aren't you breastfeeding?" But when I saw actually it's quite difficult, it's quite hard. I felt for her that she persevered for that long, and had gone through that, but the fact she managed to still keep going was a good thing. Waking up in the night, oh my word, it is difficult. And to be fair, Tola has taken the brunt of it, because obviously initially we shared it out, but when I went to work early, we came to an agreement. Okay, during the week, can she do it more so that I'm not completely shattered at work? And Max has been good mostly, but there are some times where he just thinks it's party time and he just won't sleep, and so she'll be getting up and looking after him, and me, I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm like, "Ah." So did he did he wake up last night? It's like, "You woke up like 4 times, didn't you hear him?" I was like, "Oh no." And so some of the weekends where I do have to like tend to him, it is difficult. I think to myself, how does she do this all the time? Because he'll be there, he just doesn't want to sleep. So the fact that she can do that and have strength through the day is amazing. And just the general patience of being with a baby all day, every day during this maternity leave is amazing. Because babies are awesome, but as I'll get to, babies are very, very tiring. So she'll have him the whole day, and there'll be some days I come back like, "Yay, Max!" And every day Chappelle was like, "Yeah." So I go do Chappelle show. I raise my kids for 3-4 minutes. I think I know what he meant, because I'll come in from work like, "Yay, Max!" 5-10 minutes. He's jumping around, pulling around. I was like, "Okay, Tola, come and take your son." I'm tired. So yeah, so I said number one, you value and treasure your wife, all the things that she does. Um, Number two, you have to be a lot less selfish because I think one of the things I learned is that um, we don't realize how selfish we are until we have a child, because they need so much of your time. Most people that know me know that I love FIFA. I could play FIFA all day long, but it's come to the stage. I've told my friends I've had to pretty much retire from FIFA because the amount of time I invested in that is not feasible with having a child. So I was getting frustrated where I couldn't play at the level I wanted to because obviously I've got to look after a son. So it just kept to the stage, you know what, I can't do that thing anymore. And even going out to play football is a lot more tricky now. There's a lot more planning on who's looking after Max, when am I going to be back to help out Tola, all this sort of stuff. So you've got that as well. And also just in terms of the connection we have in marriage, and that before it was just us two, so we could do whatever, and I could focus on her, she could focus on me. But now there's another guy who wants attention from me and from her, and it becomes difficult. So you have to be a lot less selfish, and over time you grow to be that, a bit more unselfish. Yeah, number three, all hands on deck. So literally, it's both people have to do something. I have to be able to do everything Tola can do, and as I said, I haven't even touched on everything she can do, that she does for Max in terms of the food, getting his bag ready and all that. So I can do pretty much all of that. I just do it slower and less efficiently. I do it well, but just it is it is it can be challenging, but I've got the hang of it. And obviously, with Tola's always there to guide because she is the expert. I can't emphasize how much that your wife becomes a superwoman, so you need to do everything you can to support her. So that includes just everything that she can do. You have to be able to do so that if she needs a rest, she's unavailable, you can tag in and help out. Um, yeah, number four, it might be early, but I think you learn a little bit about different parenting styles and sort of like how you've been raised, sort of comes out in how you want to raise the child. So, we haven't smacked yet, Max yet, don't worry. But we discuss it, and she's like, oh, no, I'm not sure we will. I was like, I think there will come an age where he needs to be like disciplined. And so we're still having that discussion. Um, how we approach him to doing things. So seeing as I'm sort of get up and go, sort of push myself sort of thing, I like to encourage him to try new things and tell us like he's just a baby. Don't do too much to him. So I remember when he was like quite small, I was like, he likes to sit up. I was like, Max, let's do sit ups, let's do exercise. So I was like, what are you doing that for? Some of you might have even seen when he was, I think, not that old, he started feeding himself and holding his bottle. And I remember when I first started trying that, I was like, oh, leave him alone, he's too... I was like, no, he can do it. And then there's a video where he just picks up and he starts feeding. I was like, wow. So I think how much we'll push him, how much we want to do things is different. How we deal with his tantrums is also different. So I don't know if you've seen, he can hulk out. He goes when you take something off him, or if he refuses to eat, or if he tries to mess about with being changed. As I alluded to earlier, Tola's a lot more patient. She'll be like, okay, fine, Max, and just let him play it out. But with me, I'm like, I talk to him. I was like, Max, stop messing about. And a lot of the time, he'll look at me and get on with it. But at the end of the time, he can do what he wants because he's a baby. But even yesterday, he was chewing on his shirt. I said, Max, stop it. He looked at me, and honestly, he stopped doing it. So I think there's a difference in parenting styles you learn, and I guess he'll learn as well, as he gets older. Oh yes, number five. Going out becomes a lot more difficult and requires a lot more planning. So before we could get out, get ready, 10 to 15 minutes, bang, good to go. No worries. Now everything takes ages. It's just not easy, and the thing is, a lot of it is getting his bag ready, is his food ready, is have a change of clothes, all this sort of stuff. Church on Sunday is an emotional one because obviously we live in Hertfordshire. We need to get to Enfield for 9 o'clock every Sunday to help serve and everything because we serve in different departments. And that wasn't too bad when it was just us two. But when you factor in, you've got to get a child ready, get him all his stuff ready, for all of that, it becomes a hassle. So it gets to that where we're getting there 8:59, 9:01 because we've had this extra blessing slash challenge of getting them ready as well. Another one is our date nights. We try to keep our date nights very protected. We've tried to do that all through marriage so far. Make sure we go out to cinema, get something to eat every week. And with Max, it's become a bit difficult, but with planning, it's still possible. However, and it leads on to our next point of number 6. I think I've poached one from Tola. It takes a village. You cannot parent with just 2 people. I think it is very difficult. We need everybody around us, and luckily over here, my family's been so good. So my mum has been awesome. She it's basically like she has another son again. And it's funny. I remember when I was settling down with Tola, and I was even thinking of where to live. Mum said, "Don't live somewhere far, because when you get a child, I won't be able to look after them." I was like, "Okay." So we moved like 15, 20 minutes away. So I've said, "Well, you asked me to stay here. Here's your grandson, look after him." But she is so amazing. Everyone else is amazing. My brother, Jason, his wife, Amina, they look after him like their own son as well. So they live next to the cinema. So we just drop him off with them. They look after him. JJ, Jessica, looking after him. Lionel, they're going to have an amazing relationship, because obviously there's only like 10, 11 years between them, and Lionel makes them laugh more than anybody. So there is such a great relationship. So my mother-in-law is in America, is amazing with him as well. She's going to spoil him so much. So, but even when he was born, she came over to look after him while we were still adjusting to things, and that was an amazing time. When he went to America, the whole family over there, mother-in-law, my father-in-law, all the siblings support him. So it honestly, it really does take a village, a whole community of people to take care of him. We're even training some more people, some of our friends, to look after him, so that he feels comfortable with more people, and it just takes a bit of the pressure off us. I can't imagine how other people do without help, because I know people have kids and it's just them, and they look after the kids and do all this sort of stuff, but they don't have support. Honestly, I sleep, because it is very difficult. And I'll tell you what I told Max, because we have conversations, and I said, Max, it's not that I don't want you, I just don't want you right now. But I love him. But as I said, it's so helpful having other people around to help. 7, it requires a lot of physical and mental strength. Oh, this is so true. But once one of my uncles remarked that he had one of his first kids at 14. It's so hard, it's so tiring. I was always just being a dad, what is it? But now I get it, because I'm 30 now, and it's just, you need to be active. Because obviously now he's crawling. I need to chase him from doing stuff. He wants to play. That takes physical and mental energy to make sure you can keep up with him, play, be active. It requires energy and motivation, especially after work. I mean, you come back from work and then he crawls up to you, he's like, "Yeah, Daddy, let's go." He doesn't ask if you want to pray. He's ready to go. Or in my case, if I played football, long hard game, want to rest, he's like, "Yeah, let's go." So you need to have that energy and motivation, and just physical, mental strength. Number 8, you can see their personality as time goes on. Obviously, this is just he's less than 1, but you can see things. He's a very joyful baby. He loves to laugh a lot. As I said, Lionel makes him laugh, and when he's happy, you can see it. And I find him generally quite easygoing, which I hope is a trait of mine as well. And that when he's fed and things are okay, he can be left to himself. Because you get some babies, they need attention, they're crying, they're doing this stuff, but he's just chill about life generally, unless something is seriously wrong. And he's a very determined baby, as you saw with how he really was quite keen to crawl quite early on. Even now, he's standing up, or if he sees something he wants, he will go for it. He really wants to push himself and do so. These are little traits in personality that we're seeing early on. I think it's pretty cool to see that in your child. Number 9, do your best to maintain a peaceful marriage and home. Yeah, that was a key one, because they see everything. They see everything. And one thing my uncle told me is that even during pregnancy, you have to try and be as peaceful and happy with each other as possible. Because he gave the example that the couples who tend to argue a lot during pregnancy, their children cry a lot. Couples who are quite peaceful, their children tend to be quite chill. So I had that in mind while pregnancy. So we were relatively calm during it, and me and Tola, and so things have been quite good with Max. And even as I said, he sees everything. So even when we do have a disagreement, he'll be looking. So we're just like, okay, you know what, let's just be cool, and generally just show him that it's a good, peaceful environment for him. Number 10, talk to your child before and after. That was another thing my uncle said to me, and that you keep talking to your, so this is while I was pregnant, keep talking to the baby, because they can hear your voice. Because I remember he gave the example of when he used to do it, and as soon as he came in and said something, when his son was born, his son turned and looked at him, I was like, come on, that can't be real. But it is real, it is real. I remember I talked to him a lot during the tummy, and when I held him, he turned away from me, and then as I said something, he looked at me. It was amazing. I think there is a picture where he's like turning to look at me as he's speaking to me. So definitely, and even now, him less than one, not fully responding, I talk to him because he can sort of see what's going on, and he sort of responds. Obviously, he still chooses to do what he wants, but I think just keep talking to them, no matter what he say. It's a really really key thing. I think it builds up a bond. Um, Number 11, you need to step up and work as a team. So looking at this again, I think it's a repetition of point three, but it really, really is so key. I hold my hands up. I'm not perfect at it. I try, but it is it is something I'm working on a lot because my wife, she is so amazing. And yeah, it's just a thing of I need to try and get to a level, which probably maybe is biologically impossible, but I won't stop trying because it takes two people. Make sure as a guy you are helping out as much as possible. There is obviously some stuff you can't do, but where there is room to, I don't know, make sure that place is tidy or make sure you can run an errand so that she's got a bit more time. Do it because you want to relieve as much pressure off your wife as possible so she can raise the child in the best way. Yeah, literally, there's no option for this Homer Simpson dad type or guy who just sits there, goofs off, does nothing. That's not feasible when raising a child. Everybody's got to be active, and so I think I'll end on salute to those people who through situations like have to do it by themselves because it is not easy at all. It's hard with two people. So people who are doing it by themselves, I respect you so much and keep going because I really know it's not easy. Wow, I didn't think this would be a long video, but it sort of is. But thank you to everyone who's watched this. I hope it's provided some insight into things. I think I may have missed a few things. Once again, massive thank you to my wife for all the work she does. Massive props to all the other parents who work hard raising kids. And Max, I hope you watch this one day and see how much effort we put into raising you. Take care and God bless everybody. Bye.